You ready? I'd like to call this meeting to order. I welcome everybody. April 3rd, we're at 6 o'clock. I need approval of the agenda this time. Need a motion.
So move, Mr. Chairman.
We have a motion. We have a second.
Second.
Any discussion? If none, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Our invocation pledge tonight is Eddie Wyndham with New Salem Baptist Church. But thank you for filling in for us tonight.
Don't mind fit. Because I need to practice and y'all need prayer. Amen.
Amen.
Let's stand. Let's pray. Kind, gracious Heavenly Father, we thank you so much for all that you do for us. We thank you for all your many blessings and your love, your compassion towards us. And we thank you for grace and mercy. Most of all, we thank you for our Savior, Jesus. Lord Jesus, we come to you tonight, Lord, and we want to do what's fitting towards you. We want you to be honored in it. We want you to get the glory out of it. And Father, I thank you for these men and women who stand before me, who take on the task of the community and what needs to be done. And Father, I pray that you would bless each and every one of them, Lord, that you'd anoint them from the top of their head to the balls of their feet, and the things that they have to do and the decisions they have to make for this place. God, I pray now that you bless us and keep us throughout this time. Lord, let us do it in a way that would be fitting to you. We pray it in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much on very short notice. Tonight we've got planning and zoning item. Ms. Pachowski, you want to present this for us?
Chairman, this is a request by New Salem Baptist Church. They want to have an addition onto their existing church. The Planning Commission has recommended approval of this request. Because the church is a conditional use in the agricultural district, it does require approval by the Board of Commissioners for this addition.
Okay. Any question for Mr. Pachowski? If none, we have a motion.
So move, Mr. Chairman.
We have a motion.
Second.
Second. Any more discussion? If none, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Very much. How many ayes did we get? About 10.
Several of them.
We got 10 ayes. Thank you very much for the help back there.
We were just making sure they heard y'all.
Oh, okay. Tonight on our consent agenda and for approval of minutes, we have a work session on March 20th, 2018 at 5 p.m. and a third Tuesday, March 20th, 2018. With a motion on approval of this.
So moved.
We have a motion. We have a second.
Second.
Any more discussion? None. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Tonight we go forward. We have new business underpinning and mobile homes. Ms. Petrowski.
Chairman, our regulations require that manufactured homes in the RR district be underpinned with masonry. 15 or 20 years ago, the commissioners directed me that I could accept hardy board as an acceptable underpinning method if it was covered with a final product of a stucco finish over it. I've been approached recently about allowing this product to be allowed, which is a concrete product. It's on hardy board and it's simulating brick. There's also one simulating stone. So I told the individual that I would approach the commissioners and see what y'all's pleasure was.
That's a very good product. It's used around the county now. I think Fred's has got that product on the side, and I think a few other buildings have got that also.
Yeah. I'm fine with it, Chairman.
Make a motion to approve, Chairman.
Second. Second. Any more discussion? None. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you. Number 2 on the new business, grand jury presentments to raise jurors' pay. Who's handling that?
I'll take that one, Mr. Chairman. I've been working with our Superior Court Clerk, Bart Jackson, on this, and so I'm coming before you tonight. The grand jury has recommended raising the pay for jurors to $35 per day. I believe we're at $25 per day right now. Bart Jackson has indicated this would be about a 40% increase in terms of the cost. And his estimate was that it might cost $6,400 to $10,000 over the course of a year for this increase. We pulled some information from other counties. Baldwin and Hancock are both at 35. Jones, Putnam, Greene, Wilkinson, and Morgan are all at 25, and Jasper's at $20 a day. My understanding, and Frank might have some insight on this as well. The grand jury can set the pay subject to your approval. So, they have recommended that it go to $35, but the final decision rests with this board. We budget about this year's budget was $23,000 for jurors. I think some of you that have been here longer than I might recall some of these requests coming before the board previously. I think I understand that this is a recommendation that has been made before by previous grand juries. With us being in the middle of a budget year, and my recommendation to you might be to just hold off on this and evaluate it as we go through the budget process in the coming months. And that might be the best time to make a change if you were so inclined.
And Jason is correct, Mr. Chairman. The grand jury just makes a recommendation.
Sure.
Basically, is what this is. I was interested in what Jason was saying. We've got 8 counties in our circuit, in the Okmulgee circuit. How many were at 25, Jason?
There were 5: Jones, Putnam, Greene, Morgan, and Wilkinson.
Then you got Hancock and Baldwin
at 35, and Jasper is at 20.
20. So we're obviously in the
Right.
I think we're
high side. But again, that's something that, as a recommendation from the county administrator, maybe take another look at it later on in the budget year.
that would be my vote, Chairman, to let's look at it at budget time and get a little more information as far as those counties that are at 25. Get maybe some population correlation with and also with court case numbers and stuff like that. So,
Yeah.
That's a motion.
Make a
Make a
motion.
motion, we address this at budget time, Chairman.
Second.
Second. Any more discussion? None. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Move on to number 3 on the new business. It's award bids for installation of water meters. Mr. Ingram?
Good evening.
Evening.
On March 22nd, we received 3 bids for the installation of 1,006 water meters. The priority 1 area, which is Joy Cliff and over around the water department, to get rid of some of our oldest meters. United Water was the low responsive bidder at $68,300. We recommend that we go forward with for the $68,300.
Any questions for Mr. Ingram?
What was our anticipated cost on that? Is it over or under?
We were expecting around $65. Now and that's just strictly labor. That is not the purchase of the meter.
Right.
Did we confirm that they're going to be able to honor that rate as we move forward with the additional meter purchases?
It is something they're definitely interested in. It all depends on time, on how fast we move.
All right. How fast do they anticipate moving?
I think we'll see 5 weeks, 6 weeks. They'll be done with the first 1,000.
Okay.
Typically, they run about 200 a week. Sometimes, depending on how many crews they can send us, they may do 250.
And I guess from a board perspective, how soon will we be ready to move on the next 1,000?
Well, that'll be on our next meeting, won't it, Tim?
Yeah.
We'll have more information. Beat on vacation this week.
Yes, sir.
We'll be able to go on, I think the next meeting, I think we'll have some nice, if everything's pointing the direction I think it is, I think we've got some great news coming.
Good.
The last meeting, y'all asked about us coming back with recommendation on funding for the 2 wells, and the meter project was in that, and Gray Highway Booster Station was in it.
Okay.
And with Levita being gone,
Fair enough.
Jason thought it was prudent we waited.
Good idea.
And this money would come from where?
Splosh. Currently, there's a little over $550,000 in the War Department Splosh account.
All right. Well, you have the recommendation. Do we have a motion to go forward with this?
So moved.
Second, Chairman.
Any more discussion? None? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Oh, ayes have it.
Mr. Chairman, this also means that we'll be buying 1,006 water meters at $150 a piece, which is $150,900, which will come out of Splosh as well.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. You ready, Ms. Martin? All right, going forward, number 4 on our new business, approved purchase of radio repeater in the Curtis James Road area. Mr. Graham and Chief Burnett, I think you both.
We want to get them, each one of those.
Good evening.
Good evening, how are y'all?
doing this afternoon?
What Chief Graham is passing out is a quote from Loudon Communications. As you know, the radio is one of our most important pieces of equipment when it comes to safety equipment. And we've done a lot of improvement between both departments over the last several years.
Thank you.
But we still have one really bad area that we can get out on mobiles and transmit on mobiles fairly well, but the portables have so many dead spots and there's very few stuff that we're gonna handle from inside the car or inside the fire truck. And Chief Graham had an incident on his last call where he had an entrapment and one's trying to call on portable to bring this other equipment. Well, he was already out of the truck, so he wasn't getting through on his portable.
Yeah.
So we had Loudon do a coverage for us to see what it would take to get that problem area, which is River North, Upper River Road, right along 18 West. I don't know if you ever drove down 18 West trying to use a cell phone. You have all these dead areas. So if you'll look on that first page, and I probably should have circled yours. Do you see this blue right here on the first page of the current coverage that we have? Blue is bad. Blue is bad. So we have a lot of dead spots through there. If we add this other voting system, you see how it clears up the blue? And we'll actually be able to get out good with the portables. So it's something that we really need. Chief Graham said he had the money in his Splosh.
I do.
And then we were gonna split it half and half and we could take our share out of our confiscated drug fund.
Cool.
So it's money that's already sitting there.
Good.
And it's something that's
Much needed.
greatly need. Well, you know, we're fixing to come up and have a lot more at the river. Summertime's fixing to come here. Mother Nature ever starts acting right. And we really, it would help us at the river, Upper River Road, 18 West.
Attorney Child's big thing. The amount we're looking at is over our bid limits, but because we do business with them direct with the radio system, we can bypass it.
Yes, sir. Same source.
Same source.
I just want to add one thing. We had an explosion at River North 2 weeks ago in the area of the condos. Somebody was barbecuing on one of the area's patios in the midsection there, and it exploded. And that's where it really hit home, is we had to run back to the truck to call for extra help. And we knew we had a small problem in there, but you get down in that hill down in near your place, it's rough in there. You'll hear just a digital sound of just, you can't understand what they're saying. But I do want to say this: ever since we've gotten the new system in, it has been impeccable. It's a fine system, and it's exactly what we needed. And we knew that there would be maybe 1 or 2 spots, just like she said, and this is identified very well on the footprint there.
Well, right now, you know, we're at 5 voting systems. We used to use 7, and we thought we could get away with not having one. We used to have one at River North, but this would actually be on the water tower on Curtis James.
Good.
But that's the only way we're going to open up that area, just because of the terrain and the buildings, trees.
Any questions for
Chairman is be placed in my district, so I'm super happy about that. And I also know that going out in River North, also out Highway 18 going towards Juliet and back towards Gray Highway. There's several dead spots in there, so I think that's much needed. And I also like to say that, since with EMA, fire, and sheriff's office have been working together the last couple of years on radio issues, repeater issues, and all this, I can't thank them enough for the efficiencies that we found just by doing this, just by working together, and that's proof that we're doing things right. So thank y'all for what you're doing, and I'd make a motion and we approve it.
We have a motion, we have a second.
I do have a second. I just had a quick question.
Sure, we're gonna, go for it.
All right. The map looks a little more blue in the addition part. Was that just a zooming effect?
Yes, just
Okay.
a zoom effect to show this clear. This would be without it at all.
Gotcha.
With all of these on. And then all they did was zoom in to show the clearance of this. You still have this much white here.
Gotcha. So, and that's my next question. So theoretically, is it relevant to put another station here?
Not right now.
Okay.
What you're looking at now is the zoomed in part to show you what Curtis James is.
Right.
This is what we have right now.
Right. It's still
And so
very
you've
blue here.
got- And that could have been on, now we used to have another one here. That may be that seventh one we have to go back with.
Okay.
But right now we haven't had a lot of trouble
Okay.
getting out. It could have been the weather that day.
Okay.
Or anything like that. But if we start noticing problems, then of course we'll have them do another study and we'll come back and ask for that seventh one.
Okay.
It's a matter of time.
Yeah.
Okay.
On that end.
All right. I was just curious because I don't live in that area, but I'm sure the folks over there would like coverage. So.
All right.
Hey, they've got covered. Like I say, if it's a problem for us, we'll know it before they will.
Fair
And
enough.
so definitely we'll be here seeing.
Okay.
Clarification, Commissioner Martin, you seconded it?
Second, yes, sir. Absolutely.
Okay, any more discussion? None, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Chief, I do want to ask you a question if you don't mind. Part of a work session we had, we're talking about propane. Has the sheriff department ever looked at propane when it comes to propane cars by any chance?
We did several years ago.
Yes, ma'am.
And it didn't suit what we needed. We tried, we got different quotes and talked to different people.
Yes, ma'am.
But
Okay.
no, it wasn't going to suffice for what we
We need it. Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.
And then DOT should try to have me an answer tomorrow on the other.
Great. Thanks.
Thank y'all very much. Moving on to old business, we have a recreation priority list. Mr. Goins?
Good evening, Mr. Chairman,
Oh,
Commissioners.
good evening.
Trust y'all had a great Easter.
Yes.
A couple meetings ago, the commission asked that the advisory committee prioritize some projects for Parks and Recreation. So at our last meeting, we sat down and we did that. And the list goes as such. Number one is a combination of lights, upgrading the lights at the old 18 fields, as well as the bid that we're going out for right now for walkways. Number two falls install lights on concrete islands in the parking lot. What they're referring to there is in the original blueprints, it shows the parking lot having islands within the parking lot. In those islands would have light poles which would illuminate the parking lot. They're saying if we don't have the money to go ahead and pay the entire parking lot, possibly go ahead and install those islands and go ahead and put those lights in place to illuminate the parking lot. Number three is a ramp from the upper level parking lot down to the lower level fields, which would run adjacent to those concrete steps that are currently there. Number four and five, I guess, are they put together. They would like to try to see if there's a way to combine the Matty Wells walking track and the Government Center walking track out here beside us. Maybe see if we could do a joint project together with those, maybe get at a better price, a better rate, as trying to make those two projects work hand in hand together. Number six was outdoor basketball courts at Matty Wells. Something in the short term is maybe we can look at putting basketball courts in the back parking lot area back there by fields 9 and 10. That would give them a place to go ahead and start playing, and also give us an opportunity to get a good idea of the utilization of those courts. I know it's not ideal. That's what we came out of brainstorming with for now. And then last but not least is actually paving the parking lot itself there at Highway 18. So that is our priority list that they came up with. With that priority list, I would like to ask tonight that if we can get permission to go out for bid for upgrading the Highway 18 lights for Curtis Field, Chapman Field, and McDaniel Field. Those are the 3 fields that need to be addressed. Stone Field and the T-ball field were upgraded in not so recent years, but in previous few years before the other ones. So those are the 3 fields that need to be addressed the soonest. And with Parks and Recreation SPLOST being limited, we want to look at go ahead and going out for bid to see what we can get that project done for before we move forward with the sidewalks. We need to see what we got financially.
Commissioner Martin?
Much to my point in the previous meeting, the advisory board doesn't reflect Highway 49, nor the constituents that voted on the Highway 49 competitive track, which passed on the previous SPLOST. All 7 of these projects pretty much are Highway 18 and gray, for lack of a better term. Again, the idea of putting basketball courts in gray where there are none in any other park anywhere in the county is sort of, a slap in the face to the request to put them out on 49. We don't want to drive another 11 or however many miles to gray to play basketball. For many of us on 49, that means driving down Sherland Drive and going to the Rosa Park Center. And no offense, that's not where I want to play ball. But we had to play ball there because the reality of driving gray wasn't realistic. Much like the choice of going to the Sherland Library because it's proximity. Again, the projects here benefit Highway 18, benefit the overall concept there. We pay taxes. $900,000 plus goes to Parks and Rec. Pretty much all of the SPLOST goes to the Highway 18 ballpark. $600,000 to the golf course. We can't get $57,000 a year for a track. I have a problem. And no, I'm not in support of this for the same reason that many of the constituents that run track and do other sports want to have a place to play in their area. And we're not asking for much. $57,000 out of roughly $2 million a year that goes to Parks and Rec and up to this area. Come on. We pay taxes. A lot of taxes. In fact, 1/4. So out of a $20 million budget, $5 million theoretically will come from this area, and we get about that much. Thank you.
Thank you.
I got a motion.
Go with the motion. Let's ask any more questions for Matt over here. Okay.
Motion to approve going out for bids for the light upgrade.
Second.
I have a motion to second. Any more discussion? If none, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed?
Opposed.
Matty Wells update.
Yes, sir. Again, a couple of meetings ago, Commissioner Martin asked for some information, and so I think Will's here to also fill in some of the information as well. Basketball courts for Matty Wells would run $17,700 each. That's $8,500 labor, $7,200 material, and $2,000 for the outdoor basketball goals themselves. So that's $17,700 per goal. That does not include bleachers, and that does not include lights. He also asked a question about increasing hours during the summer. This would cost roughly $290 per week per employee that we would need to do it because they can only work 29 hours. So that's 290 hours per employee working 29 hours a week. The summer feeding program, I have a meeting for Breaking the Chain Ministry, April the 6th. I have a meeting April the 12th at 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. with Middle Georgia at Middle Georgia State University with the Georgia DCEL. That's the, I don't want to mispronounce it, but it's a state agency that teaches us. What was that, ma'am? Oh. It is DCAL, yes. It's a state agency that will give me an opportunity for my parks department to actually be a food sponsor. So instead of Breaking the Chain Ministry right now is a sponsor out of Macon. We could work through them, or going through this training can possibly allow us to be our own sponsor versus utilizing someone else. So right now I'm looking at both avenues to see which way fits us best. Okay. Will, you want to come up?
Yeah.
Will's going to address the internet concerns there.
How are y'all doing? Okay, we got two choices here. We've got Cox Cable in the area, and we've got AT&T. Cox Cable came back with a quote with a 50 meg down and a 10 up for $124 a month. AT&T has an 18 meg down, 1.5 up, and it's $40 a month. I recommend the Cox Cable. It's a much better service. But if you're looking to save money, AT&T is probably how you want to go. But when you get 30 kids on that, I don't know how that's going to hold up. Right. But with AT&T, there's a $99 installation fee, which I was told that if we keep the service for 6 months, they'll send us a $100 Visa gift card. So Cox Cable has a $100 installation fee, and that will not be recouped. Hardware, looking at Netgear 8-port switch, it's about $120. I've got 2 access points listed on here. One for the gym, which should suffice the entire gym, and then I'll put one on the edge to hit the parking lot. Maybe something we have to play with in the future just to see exactly what kind of range we're getting and what kind of range you guys are looking to get. It just depends on what you want to do. But these access points are pretty heavy duty. They do good. Of course, you get a box of cat wire, cat 6 wire, depending on if you want to put in workstations, like wired in workstations, and then the wire molding that goes with that. But I mean, I'm looking at about a total of $870 for the hardware and everything to get this going. You guys got any questions or?
Any questions? Well,
none on the internet. We're good.
Now with AT&T?
No.
I'm glad you said that, but I just want to throw it out there. We can trunk it.
No.
And AT&T did send another quote for fiber, but I didn't even want to bring that. You're talking about $800 a month.
No.
So, but
Will, you said 30 kids on it at one time.
I'm guessing I don't know how many.
What's the difference in 30 and 5 kids at a time on it?
It depends on what they're doing. But see, most kids nowadays are streaming something, they're pulling something, and so you're looking, most streams are going to pull, and this is a generous estimate, 2.5 meg, 3 meg, that's very generous. So, this is going to suck up that 18, and the 18 is not, neither one of these are dedicated, by the way. But I have Cox Cable at home, and more often than not, I pull more than what I'm paying for.
Absolutely.
Now, with the DSL, you're rarely going to get the 18. You're going to get probably fluctuate anywhere from 12 to 16, if you're lucky.
Right.
So,
AT&T shouldn't even be a consideration. No offense, myself.
I was just trying to get all the.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I think my Metro PCS phone is probably doing 4, and I think my Sprint phone is definitely closer to 5 megs. And when you think about having even 5 kids out there, it's not even realistic. On DSL, it puts us backwards from a rural standpoint. It's like having a dial-up fax phone.
I agree. The Cox Cable is the definite better solution here.
Right. And you can control them at $125 a month and keep them at that.
You mean Cox Cable?
Yeah.
I can probably for the first year. But yeah, I mean, we're getting a government discount, and from what I understand, most of the time on these government contracts that they usually don't, I don't know that they can change it. So, but that's where we're standing at right now.
Right. So does the gym currently open now? So kids are actually playing there, and
Yes.
I guess how are their numbers looking?
Yeah, we have good numbers. We operate 6 days a week.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
The only thing this quote does not entail is content management. And the reason why I have not done that is because I'm currently looking to change hours. And, but for content management, you're not looking for more than, if we just do it at that location, it's not going to be anything more than, I don't know, $300, something like that. But I'm looking to do something on a bigger scale here. But this is the meat of the project right here.
Very good.
So I'd ask, well, if you don't mind, once you get that content, information together, and come back and present it to us, because I would really like to see us, do this.
Actually, I'd like us to install internet. Content management can happen at any point, much like what we're dealing with here.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, the kids need it.
You can put controls on it.
Oh yeah.
Now without the asset management.
Yeah, and what's going on in the gym there is weird going through the content management in the government center and what's going on in the gym there's not the same thing. Where I'm using Microsoft's version of it, and I'm going to be honest with you, gentlemen, whatever we get, if they want to see something bad enough, they're going to see it. I mean, they're going to find a way to get around it. Now, there's better ones than others, and the one I'm looking at is pretty heavy duty, but like I said, I mean, at the end of the day, they're going to get around it. So that's why it's important to have, people, walking around keeping a mindful eye, not hovering over their back, but just kind of,
Right.
keeping a watchful eye, and I know that's hard to do with phones. So, but.
Any more questions? So do we need a motion to go forward with this, or are we waiting on more information?
I'd make a motion, Chairman, to go forward with it. I mean, we got it here, and I think we want this for the kids to be able to have that resource. Not all of them are going to be playing basketball. Some of them may actually want to do schoolwork, which is a great thing. So I'd make a motion to go forward with the Cox cable.
Can you add this to your motion? Can you go ahead and give me permission to work with Levita to transfer funds to that line item to pay for this?
With the fund transfers to make it happen, and also with the content management to be determined.
Okay. Yeah, in fact, I'll give you guys a report coming up on that.
Ms. Resner?
Do either one of y'all have money somewhere we could move from, or does it need to come from contingency, or?
I think I do, but I need to give Levita first.
Okay. All right, we have a motion.
Second.
In 2 seconds.
They look at it.
Any more discussion? If none, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed?
Basketball courts.
Basketball court. Yeah, I had a question. 17,000 a go, or I mean, how was that 17,000?
That's 17,000 for one full basketball court. Yes, sir.
Let's go on each end.
Yes, sir. Concrete, the whole shebang. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I know we talked about 2 months ago, so I know my goal is 4 for outdoor tournament play, but for the sake of expending all of the splash dollars, I'd take 2 today and leave space for 2.
I guess what I would like to do is get the bids back and find out what these other parties are going to come out to. I mean, we asked the Recreation Advisory Board to give us this, and then at least find out what they're going to charge.
We talked about basketball courts before the advisory team was put to this priority list, so I think it's worthy of giving our kids an outdoor basketball court. I mean, there's one in the entire, well, maybe one in.
We need to have a motion to go out to bid for this because of the amount of money we're talking about, correct?
Oh, yeah. I want a motion to go out for bid for 2 basketball courts for Highway 49.
We have a motion. We have a second.
I got a question.
Question.
Are we going to also go out for bid for the the priority list here? We're gonna look at these numbers, because I think I kind of agree with Commissioner Pitts that, and I've said it all along, there's a certain amount of money. We took stuff out of the 18 project, and now we're gonna move that money to something that was not included in that project, but taken out of that project, and I'll say, pavilions and picnic tables, sod around some of the fields. There were things that were not done that I think need to be done too. So, are we looking at the whole picture, or looking at the lump sum of money we got left in SPOS and vying for where it needs to be spent? And that is no reflection of whether the basketball goals are needed or not.
Well, and here's the question I would ask, Matt. What SPOS dollars are we spending now? 2009?
Yes, sir.
So we're predating the actual allocation of $2.7 million for Highway 18. And no offense to anybody that plays there, it's a $5 million project. So we should have never went out on $2.7 million on a $5 million project. So to negate every other park, every other field, every other court, because this body made a poor decision to go out on a $5 million project for 2.7, that's not fair. If we're going to do it, then open it up and let's get the other $3 million and finish this project the right way and not hurt everybody else, because this new board wants to do something that the old board didn't finish. So ask for $3 million so we can finish the park the right way and stop nickel and diming it, and then don't hurt everybody else. I'd happily support a $3 million project. Y'all want to finish the park? Do y'all want to finish the park? I motion that we add $3 million to the budget to finish the Highway 18 park.
We got a motion already.
Yeah, we got.
And Mr. Chairman, also, it went from a question to sort of a debate. You can't debate.
Right, we need a second.
You have to have a second before we can debate it, so.
We have a motion as far as going out for bid for the basketball. Motion dies for lack of second.
I motion that we allocate $3 million to finish the Highway 18 park.
We have a motion for the Highway 18 park. Do we have a second?
It's going to stop nickel and diming every other project.
Dies for lack of second. Commissioner Martin?
Ooh, back again. Well, here we are again. Highway 49 competitive track was put on the ballot for the voters to vote on. It was approved. In short, Mr. Chairman and everybody that's present, on average, we leave this county with 40 cars and a school bus, 54 athletes, 152 parents, grandparents, and siblings. We spend about $10 per person at the facility during 8 to 10 hours of track. We spend roughly $7 per person after the meet for dinner. And we expend about 320 gallons of fuel and diesel and pay over $450 per meet for gate fees. This totals to about $29,712 for one season of track. That's one team. At the average track meet we go to, there are roughly 7 to 8 track teams. And at state, there'll probably be a similar number. When you do the math on that, we should take a lot of resources out of the county. The cost for constructing the track here is roughly $57,000 a year, unless you go to something high end and we spend $72,000 depending on bleachers and et cetera. We're almost halfway there with our season just leaving the county with our singular track team. At the last 2 meets that we went to in Carrollton, coaches asked, why are we not hosting meets in Middle Georgia? Because we are the middle of Georgia. We travel past Macon, we travel south. Our last track meet was in LaGrange. We get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, get on the bus at 5:30 in the morning, and we drive 2 hours plus to LaGrange. And we take all those resources out of the county. When we get there, there are at least those 5 to 8 teams that are doing the exact same thing. Folks, we can host it here. We talk about economic development. The track is a part of that component, believe it or not. And if you don't believe it, we're taking $30,000 out of the county every season to run track. I can only imagine what we do for baseball and football. We don't travel as much with those teams, but this team travels every single week. So once again, I'm putting this on the agenda. on behalf of my parents and my athletes that come to run. It's needed. It's been long overdue. We're expending money everywhere else. We need to keep our resources in the county, and we need to finish this track on 49. So again, I'm motioning that we do finish the allocation for the track. And here's the change. We don't even need bleachers at this point. Just pour us a track. We'd be happy to run on a track at this point. ESPN down in Orlando, all they have is a track. It's not concrete fabulous or aluminum steel bleachers. It's a track. Push the dirt to the side, crush and run it if you want. Just let us run. That's all I'm asking. Let the kids run. So a 8-lane competitive track only. We don't need bleachers. Guess what? We don't even need lights. When the meet's over, we'll go home. All right? Give us a track. So a motion that we allocate funds for the Highway 49 track only.
We have a motion on the floor. Do we have a second? Motion dies for a second. Moving forward, department head. Mr. Gowen, you want to go first tonight?
I can, yes, sir. Had two good pieces of news, or two pieces of good news, should I say. First one is the Easter egg hunt was a success. It started off a little slow, but roughly around 1 o'clock it got going pretty good. We had a large number of kids, large number of turnout. They were very happy. Everything went great, so looking forward to teaming up and doing it again next year. So thank you all for giving me that opportunity to do that. The second thing is I'm here tonight to announce, and also, that Parks and Recreation, with Chris Marr's help, has come to an agreement with Morris Bank for a 10-year agreement for $49,000. And with your blessings, we would like to move forward with this contract through Mr. Jason and Mr. Frank, and it would be called Morris Bank Recreation Complex.
Is that per year?
No, sir. I wish. Do we make it per year?
Okay.
Any questions for?
No.
I think that's wonderful. Sure is.
It's a great start. It's a great start for us. It's a great start for them, and it's it's an opportunity for us to continue to grow over the future and use this money for special projects to benefit the community. And again, Mr. Frank and Mr. Jason will finalize the details in the contract along with Morris Bank.
Good deal. Thank you.
If we determine what these highway funds are going to be, how are we just going to put them in a fund that is in the discretion of recreation, or is it a special projects account?
It's Highway 18. What do you mean?
To answer your question, the original approval of this marketing concept, Levita created a separate line item account, whatever you want to refer to it as, and the money goes there. It can carry over from year to year. It can only be spent with the approval of the Board of Commissioners. The advisory committee or whomever can bring forth a project, but it can only be spent with the approval of this board. So I do not have the authority to spend it without your say so.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, do we need to?
Vote on it.
Need a motion.
Yeah, we need a motion to go forward.
And will that 49,000 to be paid over 10 years? Is that?
Do you want to go the details, Matt, of how that's?
I can, yes, sir.
I like Tommy's idea yearly.
Me too. Me too. So Morris Bank is footing the bill for all of the signs, and they're going to put in some high quality signs. So it's going to be something that we're going to be proud to have on our property. With this, when the contract's over, if Morris Bank decided not to move forward, obviously we get to keep the signs. All right. So with all that being said, it's a 10-year agreement, $49,000. That's $7,000 a year for 7 years. Then they get year 8, 9, 10 which is basically paying for the signs that they're putting in place. Again, these are going to be high quality, upscale signs. So that's how it would be, $7,000 for 7 years, and then they'll have first rights of renewal. And then if they decide not to, that 10th year, we will be out marketing to replace them. But hopefully we can continue our relationship with them.
Is it an LED sign or just a really nice sign?
They are still, Thad, you're still designing that sign, right?
Yeah, they'll be absolutely LED.
Cool. All right.
Reason I asked, this is the first I've heard about it, but Jason and I can get with Thad and whoever and get it drawn up to what the agreement is. And
correct.
Can bring it back before the board. If you want to, we can just go ahead and prepare it. And of course, the chairman will have to sign it. So.
Mr. Child, would you like to come forward and say anything?
Well, real quick, it's a great honor that we were asked. They came to us and asked that we be a part of it. And of course, we like to be a part of the community. That's part of the banking business, to be a part of the community. So anyway, we want to say thank you to y'all, all the commissioners and everybody, Matt, Chris, and everybody that gave us the opportunities. And we look at it, it's not something we are being made to do. We look at it as a big privilege, you know. It helps all the kids in the community, and that's what it's all about. So thank you, and I'm sure I've heard the plan. I don't want to mess that plan up, but there's another plan for over in your area. So it's going to be good over there too. If we have enough, maybe we can do both. Thank you. Thank y'all.
Thank you very much.
Chairman, do we just need to agree in theory and wait on the contract to come back to vote on that, or?
Either way, y'all can vote tonight for the chairman to approve it when it gets drawn up, or we can bring the finished product back and present the whole thing to the board.
I think since the first time we heard about it, we probably just give a directive to Jason to go through with it and get it all ready to go and come back, and then we vote on it one time.
All right, that'll work. All agrees?
That's fine.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Pelkey?
Good evening.
Good evening.
As a supervisor of the water department, I just want to say thank you for your support, and especially for the recent purchase of the hydrovac. It's made a big difference, expediting the process of fixing the leaks, and so it's been a great asset to our department. But I wanted to come up and just say thank you for from my wife and I. My son is having some very major health issues, and I just want to say thank you for your prayers, and as he walks through this journey, and I just want to say thank you. We feel your prayers, and we need them, and I just want to say thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Graham?
I appreciate everything you guys have done for EMA and the fire department. You guys have supported me from day one, the last 9 years. Not every one of you, but the board has. This department has come a long way, in a good way, and we're going to get better. And we're going to need to get better, because we're challenged every day with something different, whether it's a different drug, whether it's a different sickness, whether it's a different material that's burning or combusting. There's always something new, but we're learning, and we'll continue to learn and do the best we can as volunteers. This month is severe weather awareness. With that being said, we're looking for bad weather tonight. It'll probably start moving in. There's already tornadoes that's touched down in neighboring states and heading this way, but we're looking at daylight with a torcon of almost 5. So that's a 50% that we may have something, and that's pretty high for this area. But if you don't have code red, you should have Code Red. You can sign up on it on the record. You can go to the county website, go to the bottom of the page, and there's a banner on the bottom, says Code Red. Click on it. Take you every bit of 30 seconds to sign up. There is no charge. And then we've got sirens that are strategically out in the community, and I've got 2 more that were donated by Georgia Power that are hoses. And I'm going to put one probably in 8's area and put one in Juliet. Anyway, I appreciate the coming to the board. It's not an easy thing to come and ask for money, but it's easy to come when it's you guys are looking back and trying to be at the best interest of the county. That's the easy part, is doing the right thing, and I appreciate y'all.
Thank you very much. Mr. Resner?
I don't have anything right now.
You don't have anything?
No, sir.
Okay.
Good evening.
I wanted to give y'all an update on our broker services. So I reached out to our broker and wanted to get some information on new products and things maybe we could get for the oncoming year. The only thing I'm really having a hard time getting some information back on is the verification of fees and commissions on major medical and supplemental products. There seems to be some confusion on, I had to go back to the minutes from last year, and there was in the minutes stating that she could give this information quarterly. So when I gave her the minutes, she said that means the claims. I can give you updates on claims quarterly. I can't give you the information on the commissions until the end of the year. So I wanted y'all to give me direction on how to handle this or what you want me to do.
Mr. Martin?
I'm chuckling because I've asked for commissions for 6 years maybe. It's not that difficult. They've been reluctant to release that. To consider themselves a partner with us in this process, I think it behooves them to do that. Every other agency or brokerage has that capacity. And even ACCG will tell you that to release that information is not difficult. It's a choice. And that's another reason why, again, I'm a fan of finding another brokerage.
Mr. Robson?
Well, I don't know any reason not to believe them. If they can provide it, if they say they can do it once a year, and that's the most, then that seems fine to me.
Any other discussion?
No more than, I mean, if that's what the minutes say that they should be able to provide it quarterly, then, we ask them, to provide it quarterly, and hopefully they can present it to us, so.
We asked for full transparency and accountability, and that was the reason we asked for these record, reports coming from the carrier to verify that what we were agreeing to was taking place. I feel like we can get it quarterly. I encourage, call ACCG and confirm that we can get it quarterly, from the carrier. That's my thoughts. I mean, it's, everything's got to be done by the book. If we ask for quarterly, we need to be getting what we ask for. That's my thoughts on it.
Well, I have, and maybe it's just me, but asking someone how much money they're making, and we don't ask contractors. They have a low bid. We don't ask them if they're getting points towards a cruise, or how much they're getting from the supplier, or how much profit they're making off of the project, or how much their salary is per year. I'm just not understand. I mean, if the insurance that we choose is bid on, I mean, why wouldn't that be sufficient? I just don't understand why we got to get in the weeds about how much this individual made and that one did, and what the yearly income is, and why they're driving this car and not driving that one.
That's not what we're asking for, Commissioner Robinson. What we're asking for is exactly what we agreed upon in a written contract that I signed with them, that they would be making X number of dollars per year, flat fee. And this is just a verification process that everything that we required and asked for, we're getting. And it's coming directly from the carrier. I mean, I know I've got renewals coming up in August, and I'm already getting the information I need for my renewals. We've already, I mean, I don't care what they make as a carrier with everybody. My concern is exactly what we agreed upon as a flat fee base with this carrier, and this is the verification we asked for, so we'll have complete transparency and accountability. That's all we asked for. And we asked for it on a quarterly basis. And I feel comfortable that's not impossible to get, that we're paying exactly what we're supposed to be paying at a given time.
Well, I guess I'm just not seeing it, but, I mean, if we bid the insurance out and somebody gets a low bid, I mean, as far as that goes, if we approve it, that's the end of it, to me. Now, I don't know about the board, but no matter who it is.
Any other questions or discussions?
Much like the chair said, it's what they agreed to. And I don't want to feel like they said anything they could do to get the contract, but I'm feeling that way. It's in writing, it's in the minutes, produce it. It's been almost a year and we haven't seen a quarter yet. So, you know, there's a breach. It's sad, and it doesn't have to be that complicated. This is a working relationship. So provide the information that we requested, that they agreed upon, and we move on. When we built our fire station, we could see exactly what the contractor made. And that was there. It was up front. And that was a choice in the design of the contract. This contract was no different. It was designed that way for transparency. So we're just asking them to be transparent. It's taxpayer money. Let's do that.
Okay. So if we can, I guess we'll put it on the agenda for the next meeting and see if we've gotten the information we requested.
Okay.
Give them an opportunity.
Okay.
Is that all right with everybody?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Thank you. Mr. Curry, you wanted to come forward and you signed in?
Commissioners, board members, I'm here tonight to voice my concern about the safety of the children and the public at the recreation complex on Highway 18. I addressed this board 4, 5, 6 years ago. Frank might remember this, and they corrected the issue right away. But the rules were there's to be no private vehicles in that recreation area once games start or once the spectators start gathering there. Well, last week I was there watching the Gray Station play. Their games begin sometimes 4 and 4:30. Okay, that complex should be cleared by then. Well, my daughter and my wife, they're concerned about my granddaughter playing at the playground because of traffic going in and out. So my wife noticed a car parked in front of the concession stand, so I walked over there and finally found the guy that owned the car, and I noticed it had a Baldwin County tag and no Jones County stickers on the door. So I questioned the guy. I said, "Is this your car?" He said, "Yes." I said, "Well, it's not supposed to be in here. The rules say." He said, "Well, I work here." I said, "Well, that doesn't give you the right to park here." He said, "Well, my boss says I can." Well, his boss is giving him permission to break the rules. You know, and it's just not right. Those kids are not looking for a car to leave. The guy told me, he said, "Well, there's not going to be any problem because I'm getting ready to leave." I said, I don't think you should leave, not during this game. I said, them kids are playing and having a good time. And if it's not stopping now, there's going to be more and more of it happening. I looked up at the upper gate. The gate was wide open, and this was at 6 o'clock, 6:15. The gate still wasn't closed. So he called his boss and his whoever, and the boss wouldn't talk to me. I tried to call him back. He wouldn't answer my call. The guy said, well, I'm going to call the sheriff. I said, well, call the sheriff. I'll talk to the deputy. He wouldn't call the sheriff's department, so I did. And I called the sheriff's department at 6:28, and he arrived about 6:35. I met him at the upper gate. He and I talked. I told him what the concern was. He said, well, why is that gate open? I said, well, that's what I'd like to know. Why is this gate wide open for anybody to drive down through there? Well, about this time, this guy comes up, closes the gate. You know, way past the time it should have been closed. There's rules at the entrance of that park. No pets, no private vehicles, no ATVs, scooters, what have you. Every time I go down there, I see that. I see pets, some on leashes, some not on leashes. I see boys riding scooters behind the concession stand on that concrete walkway. The rules are not being enforced. And there's going to be an accident down there hurting one of those kids, and that's going to really be bad. Now, the signs are up at the main entrance where you drive down the concession stands. The new section of the complex, where every walk entrance is, there's no rule signs posted there. Or at the steps going down to the upper part of the complex, there's no signs up there posting the rules and the regulations. But I think the board should enforce the rules and regulations down there before someone does get hurt, because I think it would be a bad situation.
Yeah. We definitely appreciate your concerns and bring it to our attention so we can look into it.
Well, I sure hope so, because like I say, my grandkids and great-grandkids play down there, and I've been going to that complex since there was only one field down there. You know, and Jones County needs a place like that.
Billy McDaniel Field.
That's right. But we need to keep it safe for everybody.
Well, we definitely appreciate you coming and letting us know about this.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, board members.
Who wants to go first tonight? Commissioner's comment. Mr. Kitchen?
I will. I see John left early, so I'll speak for him. For those that don't know, we had the grand opening of the animal welfare this past Saturday. Huge turnout. People were coming out of the woodwork. I think at last count we had 10 dogs adopted and 3 cats adopted on Saturday. It was unbelievable for me to see exactly how much the volunteers do and how much that staff does. Just on a Saturday with that many people. I mean, I felt like I was always in the way because somebody was running back and forth doing something all the time. So it's definitely commendable, the number of people and the amount of work that gets done in that place with as few actual staff members as we have. So just hats off to all those involved with the grand opening. It's been a long time coming, and heard nothing but positive things about it on social media. Everywhere I go, people are talking about it. So that's a pretty cool thing. Community Pride cleanup Saturday week. I'm not going to call any names, but I know 2 of us districts have really showing up as far as the sign-ups. And, 2 of us might not be so much. So I think it's going to be a shootout between District 1 and District 4 on how much trash we pick up on Saturday. But in all honesty, I think we got somewhere between 50 and 100 people signed up already for a community-wide cleanup, and I think that's great. It shows the pride that our community has in where we live. So still got time. Tell everybody to join up, get on a team, call the number, and get signed up.
Right now, I'm cooking still, right?
So far, because Commissioner Martin's district's got a lot of people, and they got some team leaders, so we might reallocate your services to cooking duty.
Like the hamburger's done or medium well?
I think it's cooked to order, so.
That's all I got, Jim.
Commissioner Pitt?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. I do want to echo what Commissioner Kitchens mentioned about my animal control volunteers. They do a great job. I appreciate everything they do. I also want to make sure that we realize that we had the groundbreaking for the inclusive playground. And Matt showed me some pictures a few minutes ago that we actually have some structures that's actually coming out of the ground. So it's really exciting to see all those great projects going on in Jones County with the animal shelter, the inclusive playground. And I also want to thank Morris Bank for being a community partner. That's what's so special about our community, when people come together and see something that's worth investing in, and for them to step up and invest in the projects. I want to thank you guys so much for being a partner with us. Thank all the department heads for everything they do to make Jones County a great community. Thank our Recreation Advisory Board for spending their time to come up with this priority list, and so that the board can help make decisions on what's in the best interest of the community. Ask everybody please be safe with this weather that's coming through, and just glad to be here. So I hope everybody has a great evening. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Robinson?
Yeah, thank you to Morris Bank and Thad. We really do appreciate it. It shows once again your community involvement and your community pride. We really appreciate it. Mr. Chairman, when the construction started on the new bridge on 49, there were some changes made in the intersection there with Chapman Road. It caused the intersection to become very much wider and very dangerous. And even in the daytime, when you're turning left off 49 on the road, you're not really sure exactly where to turn. And if you try that at night, it's really awful. And as somebody who's completely unfamiliar with it is taking their life in their hands. Well, as an immediate solution, Don Graham provided a set of lights there for us. And they do a great job. And that's wonderful. But the long-term solution is we need a light on a pole to illuminate that intersection. It's costing, for those lights, the fuel is costing about $18.50 a day. So you can see we can certainly put the type lighting we need for a whole lot less than $18.50 a day. So I want to ask for the consensus of the board for Don and Jason to work with Tri-County to have the correct type lighting for that intersection installed at that intersection. There is a pole right there in the vicinity.
Would it be advisable to consult GDOT to see if there's something in the works for a light? Because the old intersection used to have a light there, didn't it?
Well, years and years ago, there was one little street light, but that was all. And I have talked to GDOT, and there's no chance.
You're on the MATS committee, much like I attended. I think you bringing that up to MATS would resolve the issue. And then
we got a meeting, a couple of weeks, don't we?
Correct. And who authorized putting a light out there and spending $18.50?
I did.
Oh. By yourself? Oh. I know we can do that.
It's, I'll bring it up at Matt, but I can't believe that there would, I mean, there was a light there. I mean, I haven't traveled a whole lot, but I know there used to be a light there.
DOT told me they've already done all they're going to do in that project right there. So that's why I think we had to get the lights out there. And whatever the board wants to do, but if we try to go through MATS and then GDOT,
I don't mind giving it a try.
Well,
yeah.
But we need it soon.
Right. I mean, I don't mind at all bringing it up, asking, what procedure we can go through. I'll definitely do that next MAT meeting, which is, I have to look at my phone, but I'm talking week after next, almost positive.
Well, in the meantime, is it okay for Don and Jason to see, so we won't be wasting any time?
Send the board to look into the expenditure on it?
That's fine with me, Chairman.
Okay. All right.
And in the meantime, does the board authorize a continuation of what you're doing? Right. And as Commissioner Robinson knows, and as I've said many times, no one commissioner can do anything by himself.
Sure. When
it comes to taking action. The exception to that would be an emergency type thing, which if Don was involved and agreed it needed doing, that would, I think, I don't guess we've had a meeting since that occurred. Is that right, Commissioner Robinson? Yeah.
I can't remember.
I assume this hadn't been going on too long.
Have we had a meeting since then, Don?
There's been one meeting.
Okay.
But if it's something the board would need to approve the continuation of those lights being out there. if you choose to do that.
So there's light stands out there?
I've got a light bank out there that we have for emergency purposes. We keep it at the training center.
Okay.
And
so we're not renting a light?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
We're just paying for the diesel.
This is the fuel, $18.50 a day.
It's only $480 a month.
The way I do is I fill it up every other day, and it's $37 and some odd cents. And I have a volunteer go by at dark, fire it up, and then it's turned off at daylight when one of them's going to work. And I just happened to realize that there was a pole maybe 20 foot from the intersection over there. So I looked on the pole and it's got Tri-County on it. I went, I wonder what it would cost to have a light installed up there. We've got some at some of our stations that are $40 a month.
Yeah, we're gonna have to pay the light bill anyway. So we might as well, in my opinion, we might as well give it a try again.
So, Commissioner Robinson just asked me for a solution to brighten that area, because there's been some accidents reported there, and there's also been some confusion in that intersection. It is it's a nasty little thing there that could be bad, but I've gotten good results out of people talking about the lights. They say it really lightens it up.
And I got a call, I guess, 5 months ago. Miss Wells called because since they had moved the intersection up, they were kind of like a blind stop there. And they got Mr. Resner about looking into it. If it was an issue, we need to put a stop ahead, or I think it was a sign put there informing about the stop ahead, because they moved the stop sign. And literally, it was as soon as you top that hill, it was right there, and people, were just blowing through it because I still go through the four-way stop down here on Highway 11, forgetting all those years of driving through it. Every night I catch myself, but I guess that's the birthdays are catching up on me too.
You're probably not the first one that goes through them. I've been driving there since I was a kid. Same difference on Chapman when they're getting out on 49. I don't know what the solution is. I was looking for a cheaper solution because it's coming out of my budget. It's not a whole lot, but if we're looking at a year going down the road, then we went somewhere in my budget.
Like I said, we endured expenses on the four-way on the interstate when Sheriff Reese went out there on the bypass. I mean, interstate on the bypass. Excuse me.
Chairman, I think if it's an emergency enough that we're paying $18 a day to light it up, it's an emergency enough that we get something done about it. Because $40 a month is a heck of a lot less than $18 a day, even in Common Core math. When you run that right side all the way down.
Since the board allow them to go forward and look into it.
That's fine, Chair.
That's fine.
I think you should have a conversation with GDOT when you go to Matt's.
I will.
Yeah.
I will. I'll give a conversation there too, because they did say if we ever need anything, let them know.
Absolutely.
Because I got a call on that intersection at 129. No, I mean I've had pretty good luck with them. I've had a conversation. They asked me about 129 and at the bypass, the confusion there they were having, what I thought about it, and I told them what I thought. They were out there again today looking at it, seeing how they're gonna stop confusion there when people coming off 129 turn on a new bypass, because there is some confusion. I mean, I've seen two different people go down the wrong way, not realizing that they were supposed to swing out for them.
Oh yeah.
So Chairman, during Sunday's meeting, have they talked about the roundabout and how they're making progress on that, or that's a different committee?
Oh, the roundabout's looking great. They've got curves and all.
And I guess an expected completion date, any idea?
May, wasn't it?
It's not far. It's gonna be this summer.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah. They can move that concrete. I know.
Right.
That.
I've noticed. I just didn't know they gave us an expected completion date. That's it.
So you will call GDOT tomorrow, right?
I can't. I got enough of the numbers on there. I can make one of them.
What did we say? $18 a day?
$540 a month, $6,000 a year.
I will call tomorrow.
All right,
We
Chairman,
won't
got a
wait for
tap.
Matt. How's
Number
that?
one project.
I will call
Say
tomorrow.
action list.
1850.
Say action list.
Don says his budget appreciates it. Go ahead and call tomorrow.
The people that turn off of 49 on Chapman Road appreciate those lights too.
Yeah.
There's been people driving all over the shoulders of the road, getting stuck out into construction, and you don't know which lane you're in when you turn at night.
Anything else, Mr. Robinson? Commissioner Martin?
I am shocked and amazed at the audacity and the double standard here. I just got to say that out loud. No single commissioner has the authority to expend dollars from somebody's budget, and we talk about it in jest. And it's a big elephant in the room. I don't even understand that. I can't get $100 for internet service without it going through a committee, but we're allowed to do that. I don't know where that's legal, and I guess this is okay and acceptable. I'd like to allocate $480 a month for track, for basketball courts, for animal shelters. Can I do that, Mr. Chairman? All right. This is my problem. It is amazing what we do here, and this body controls millions of dollars of resources and people to get stuff done, and it's laughable, the offenses that we do up here in the name of the law. I made a comment a long time ago, after the prayer by the pastor, it all goes downhill. There's lofty hopes and aims in that prayer, and I smile, and every time I say the pledge, I smile, but I know what's really going on, and it bothers me that it's okay. Our Parks and Rec budget has a few $1 million in it that can be allocated for the betterment of all. This county does not look beyond this area, maybe districts 1, 2, and 3. District 4 gets the backhand, much like Mr. Harris has been trying for decades to get sewer. Our kids can walk in sewer and it's okay, but some kids get to have a sidewalk to walk through the park. And no offense to the safety aspect of that, that park didn't have sidewalks for many years, and we walked through construction zones and rocks and everything else in the name of having a good time and doing what's right. The idea that my district, District 4, pays a fourth of the taxes and gets less than $1 million, and that'd be a stretch, less than the golf course in that area. It's offensive. Many have asked about becoming our own city, and we want to do that because this body doesn't care. And it doesn't, I don't care what words you say, love is an action that happens out of what we do, not what we say. And in the infamous words of most pastors, your heart is where your checkbook is. We don't spend dollars in that district. We spend it everywhere else. I challenge you tonight, if Highway 18 is serious to you, you should allocate the money for it. But we know that's not the case. It's about everywhere else starving as that particular area gets resources. To the track parents that came out, I appreciate you guys. This is my last year coaching. I hope it's my last year in the county, because I really had enough. Tonight was horrible, deplorable. If I did this, I'd be lynched. Not even a question about it. I don't even know why I come here, to be honest, but I'm elected, and I forget my buddy's name from the Seahawks. I'm here because I have to, and it's an obligation that the voters put me to, and I hate that this body makes a mockery of that by not taking care of its people. To the city and the BOE, I hope that they can find a partner. If I'm the city, I'm watching carefully how you treat the rest of your county. And if you treat District 4 like you could treat the city, I don't see how partnerships will happen. That same distrust is a concern. And our group feels the same way. Our businesses aren't a part of the collective effort that happens. And nobody wants to be invited to your area all the time to do it your way. They want to do things their way in their own little space. But you show tonight that, again, it's okay to do it a certain way. And it's not right. It's not legal. I cannot go into any department and spend department head money. And I feel for you, Don. I apologize on behalf of the commission. No commissioner should be able to come to you and influence that, and you should have had the ability to call him and ask, was it okay? And that didn't happen. And that happens out of fear, because of a stronghold that certain members of this commission has over people, and it shouldn't happen. It shouldn't. And it's unacceptable. And it's happened for decades. Y'all need to fix that. I'm finished, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chairman, Don's title is Emergency Management Director. I don't think this board voted on putting those lights on the bypass. This was a matter of life and death for hundreds of people that turn in that intersection. I contacted the Emergency Management Director for help. And if there's something wrong with it, I'll own it. I proudly own it. So.
My grandma used to say there's a right way to do a wrong thing.
Thank you very much. Let's go forward. Citizen comments. Anybody like to come forward and speak? No citizens comments. We need a motion to adjourn to go into executive session for several things: litigation, land acquisition, and personnel.
So moved, Chairman.
Second. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye. Thank everybody for coming.